No!
After finalizing his divorce by court order, Dae chooses to move forward with Huyen, the woman he truly loves and cherishes. However, their fragile happiness is soon threatened when Thuy, Dae's ex-wife, refuses to let go and repeatedly tries to sabotage their relationship. With the help of Hung, a calculating and manipulative cousin, a carefully staged plan is set in motion. Han, Hung's younger sister, pretends to fall ill in the forest so that Dae will rescue her and bring her home to care for her. What begins as an act of kindness slowly turns into emotional turmoil as Han takes advantage of her feigned vulnerability to get close to Dae and drive a wedge between him and Huyen. But through clarity, integrity, and unwavering loyalty, Dae quickly uncovers the scheme. He confronts the truth directly, firmly protects Huyen, and puts an end to the manipulation. In the end, Dae and Huyen's love not only survives the storm, but grows stronger, while those behind the schemes are forced to face the painful reality of their actions. If you enjoy emotionally driven, dramatic stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and show your support with a like. Your support is the motivation that helps the channel continue bringing you more compelling stories. Since the day the divorce verdict was officially announced by the court, Dae's life seemed to enter a completely new turning point. The heavy, suffocating evenings in a silent house were gone, as were the endless arguments with Thuy, his ex-wife, the woman who had shared more than 10 years of his life. The marriage ended quietly, without scandal, yet it left deep, lingering scars in both of them, especially when Dae chose to leave and be with Huyen, the woman he loved with sincere devotion after years of emotional exhaustion. Huyen did not come to Dae impulsively. She understood the gossip, the judgmental looks from society when loving a man who had just gone through a divorce, yet she still accepted everything because in Dae she saw a man of experience, calm, responsible, and above all, someone who had known pain and therefore knew how to cherish happiness. However, before Dae and Huyen could fully build a peaceful life together, silent storms began to rise. Thuy, despite having signed the divorce papers, had never truly let go. Feelings of loss, jealousy, and emotional wounds slowly transformed her into a different person. She could not accept that Dae had found happiness with someone else, and even less so when that person was Huyen, a gentle yet resolute woman. From anonymous messages and late-night harassing phone calls to secretly following every step of Dae and Huyen, Thuy gradually trapped herself in a vortex of obsession. Every time she saw the two walking side by side, it felt as though her heart was being crushed. In her distorted thinking, if she could not have Dae, then Huyen did not deserve him either. Not stopping there, Thuy sought out Hung, her cousin, who had long harbored resentment toward Huyen. Hung was sharp, calculating, and firmly believed that the end justified any means. Upon hearing Thuy talk about how Dae had completely chosen Huyen, Hung smiled coldly, as if a new scheme had already taken shape in her mind. Han had a younger sister named Han, nearly 20 years younger than Dae, with a pleasant appearance and eyes that always seemed fragile and helpless. Han was not a bad person, but she was easily influenced, especially when Hung planted calculated whispers in her mind that if she could make Dae waver, Huyen would naturally step aside, that it was only a small act, one that would not truly harm anyone. One gray, rainy afternoon in the forested hills, when Dae was on his way to inspect a plantation site, he came across Han lying unconscious by a narrow trail, her clothes muddy, her breathing weak. Driven by instinctive kindness, Dae did not hesitate. He quickly brought the unfamiliar girl back to his home, the place he shared with Huyen, to take care of her. Huyen, though surprised to see Dae bring home a young stranger, remained calm. She prepared warm water, cooked porridge, helped Han change into dry clothes, and cared for her like an older sister. In Huyen's eyes, Han was simply someone in need of help. She had no idea that from that very moment, a tangled knot had begun tightening around their lives. After a few days, Han gradually recovered. She was no longer feverish or weak, yet she continued to claim she had nowhere else to go, asking to stay a little longer. At first, Dae saw it merely as temporary assistance. He kept his distance and spoke with restraint, but Han was different. Her attitude slowly changed, and the look in her eyes toward Dae was no longer just gratitude. Accidental touches, half-joking yet suggestive remarks, deliberate appearances whenever Huyen was absent, Han followed every instruction Hung had given her. She believed that as long as Dae was a man, sooner or later he would falter before a young woman who constantly appeared vulnerable and in need of protection. After finalizing his divorce by court order, Dae chooses to move forward with Huyen, the woman he truly loves and cherishes. However, their fragile happiness is soon threatened when Thuy, Dae's ex-wife, refuses to let go and repeatedly tries to sabotage their relationship. With the help of Hung, a calculating and manipulative cousin, a carefully staged plan is set in motion. Han, Hung's younger sister, pretends to fall ill in the forest so that Dae will rescue her and bring her home to care for her. What begins as an act of kindness slowly turns into emotional turmoil as Han takes advantage of her feigned vulnerability to get close to Dae and drive a wedge between him and Huyen. But through clarity, integrity, and unwavering loyalty, Dae quickly uncovers the scheme. He confronts the truth directly, firmly protects Huyen, and puts an end to the manipulation. In the end, Dae and Huyen's love not only survived the storm, but grows stronger, while those behind the schemes are forced to face the painful reality of their actions. If you enjoy emotionally driven, dramatic stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and show your support with a like. Your support is the motivation that helps the channel continue bringing you more compelling stories. Since the day the divorce verdict was officially announced by the court, Dae's life seemed to enter a completely new turning point. The heavy, suffocating evenings in a silent house were gone, as were the endless arguments with Thuy, his ex-wife, the woman who had shared more than 10 years of his life. The marriage ended quietly, without scandal, yet it left deep, lingering scars in both of them, especially when Dae chose to leave and be with Huyen, the woman he loved with sincere devotion after years of emotional exhaustion. But Han was wrong. After years of a broken marriage, Dae had learned to observe people more carefully. Han's sudden changes, her inappropriate glances, her ambiguous words all raised his suspicions. More than anything, when he noticed the quiet worry in Huyen's eyes whenever Han approached him, his heart grew heavy. One evening, while Huyen returned late from work, Han deliberately approached Dae, speaking words that any weak-willed man could easily misinterpret. But Dae neither avoided her nor lost his temper. He looked straight at Han, his voice low yet firm, and asked a single question. "Did you really come here because you needed help, or for some other purpose?" Han froze. The fragile facade collapsed. She burst into tears and confessed everything: Hung's plan, Thuy's pressure, and her own role in it all. But those tears were no longer enough to restore trust. The next morning, Dae asked Han to leave the house. He helped her contact her relatives and arranged temporary accommodation, but firmly refused to let her stay any longer. Standing before Huyen, Dae explained everything openly, without hiding anything, without making excuses. Huyen listened in silence, tears falling not from jealousy, but from deep emotion. She understood that amid all the chaos, Day had chosen to protect their relationship through honesty and unwavering resolve. As for Thuy, upon learning that the plan had failed, she was finally forced to face the truth that some things, once lost, could never be reclaimed through schemes or manipulation. Day was no longer the man of the past, and Huyen was not a woman easily torn apart. In the ruins of misunderstandings and deceit, Day and Huyen's love did not collapse, it grew stronger, for they understood that if even one person wavered, any storm could destroy everything. But when two people stand firmly on the same side, no conspiracy can come between them anymore.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Live Single RV. Vậy là trong tập phim ngày hôm nay của chúng ta đã kể về câu chuyện đó chính là việc Đệ đã giúp đỡ một cô gái lạ bị lạc trong rừng sâu và đưa về nhà chăm sóc. Nhưng điều đó lại khiến cho Huyền, người yêu của anh hiểu lầm là anh không còn chung thủy với cô. Nhưng tất cả chỉ là sự hiểu lầm thôi. Và cô gái đó cũng chính là sự sắp đặt của người vợ cũ của Đệ, đó chính là Thúy. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn về câu chuyện Đệ và Huyền cũng như bé May A sẽ còn được kể trong các video tiếp theo. Các bạn đừng quên bấm vào nút đăng ký kênh để nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các tập phim sẽ được kể trên kênh Live Single RV hàng ngày nha. Đặc biệt đừng quên bấm nút like, share và để lại bình luận ở dưới video nhé. Cảm ơn các bạn rất nhiều đã luôn theo dõi ủng hộ kênh của mình. Thanks for the watching. Bye bye.